come from a broken, a fractured, but your biological moms and dads today, they're not together. And you come from what we would call like the broken family. Anybody in here? Yeah, man, I come from a broken family too. See, I'm from Indiana. All you need to know about Indiana, there's a lot of corn there. And more corn and corn. But I'm from Indiana and I come from a family of 4. And it was mom, dad, sister, and me. And my dad, he was my rock star, my icon, my hero as I was growing up. The thing about my pops is that he was real and he was raw. He was always so uncut with me, man. When I was a young man growing up, he was that iconic role model I looked up to. And the thing about my pops, though, he never sugarcoated nothing. I remember in the 3rd grade, he said, Nathan, it's a dog-eat-dog world. I'm in the 3rd grade, I'm like, dude, what do you mean? He said, Nathan, you can go through middle school if you want to, and you can cut corners, and you can do just enough to get by, and you can use your personality and your charisma, and you can take the handouts from everybody around you, and you'll make it through middle school, and you can make it through high school. But one day, son, if you turn around and you don't take control of your life and work hard, make good choices, and value the people around you, you'll turn around one day and you'll have nothing. But if you build it, nobody can take it from you. My dad was always trying to get me to take control of my life. I remember as I got a little bit older, I wanted to start playing basketball going into the 7th grade. Now we're called the Hoosiers in Indiana. It's a really weird freaking name. And I guess we're good at basketball, but we're not because we've never won anything in my entire life. But I was like, Dad, I want to hoop. I don't know why. It was a bad choice. It's like I'm very vertically challenged. I'm 5'7"-ish. The bun's like 6 foot, it's why it's there. And I'm like, Dad, let's play ball, right? And I say, I don't come from a lot of money at all. We don't come from hardly any money at my house when I grew up from my parents. But my grandparents, they were kind enough and they were going to pour this piece of concrete. And they poured this piece of concrete, and my dad got a telephone pole and he stuck the telephone pole in the ground. And we didn't have a nice Gorilla Glass backboard. We had some old busted down jankety rim. Jankety's a word. And I walked out there on the court with my dad, and I'm excited. It's my icon. I'm playing on a basketball court that I never thought that I was ever going to get. And my dad said, son, you're supposed to put the ball in the goal. I'm like, yeah, dude, I know that. He said, my job, I'm going to stop you. Okay, I don't think I quite registered, but I get the ball. I'm excited. He's my role model, my hero. And we check up, and I shoot, and my dad goes, yeah. And I want to believe he didn't do it on purpose. The ball went, bah. I said, dang. I'm in the 7th grade. You're a grown man, dude. I don't pick up the ball and shoot it again. And my dad, yeah, dude, my dad beat the brakes off of me. Like, I didn't watch that dumb ball go into that dumb goal not one time. And after 2 hours of my dad demoralizing me, like I walked up the court like I was on meltdown mode. Some of you cry, but you cried ugly too when you were a kid. But my mom was watching the whole time, and mom came out the house. Yes, she did. And she said, Tim, why wouldn't you let your son make 1 bucket? I'm like, yeah, I just had 1 bucket, man. Like, I was melting down. But still to this day, I will never forget what my father said to me. Because he looked at me with the most serious but calm tone of voice, and he looked me directly in my eyes, and he said, my son, he's never going to be the most gifted. He will never be the most talented. He will never probably be the most qualified. There will always be people in his life that are more gifted, more talented, and more qualified. But I need my son at a young age to know he doesn't need to compare himself to anybody. I don't care how gifted and talented and qualified everybody else is. Hard work works, and hard work can outwork gifted and talented and qualified people. I need my son to understand as he's chasing his dreams and his goals, there's always going to be adversity and objects and obstacles keeping him from reaching the goals in his life. I need my son to learn to see the problem, identify the problem, and solve the problem. Giving up won't be in his mouth. It doesn't matter what he has or what he doesn't have. It doesn't matter where he comes from or where he doesn't come from. My son will not have I quit in his mouth. Dude, I just want to make buckets, y'all. My dad was always trying to get me to take control of my life. Because I want to be real. Life, growing up, life can be hell. And sometimes things happen to us that we didn't ask for, we didn't sign up for, we didn't want to have to deal with. Sometimes life brings us challenges and storms that we as young and old people alike, we've got to just deal with. But we didn't want to deal with it, but it came knocking, and now we got to figure it out. How many of you in here have had to go through a struggle, an adversity, a challenge, a loss, an abuse, something that's happened to you that you didn't want to have to deal with, but now it came knocking and now you got to figure out what to do with it? Anybody know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man. And for me, there are things that I call moments of impact. Moments of impact are these single events that happen in our lives. They can be positive or negative. Single events, single situations, single occurrences. These experiences that happen. Maybe it's good, you win the championship, you aced a test, the very first time your toes touch the sand, a positive memory. And these moments of impact that can come through hardships and struggles and challenges. Maybe it's when mom and dad got the divorce, or a friend or a family member, that we lose somebody close to us. Or maybe it's some abuse that's happened that nobody knows about. But when that thing, whatever that thing is that happened, that thing that you know, that still to this day, years later, you remember every detail when that thing happened. You remember the people that were around you, the conversations that were being spoken, the clothes that were on your back. The details are more vivid, they're more vibrant because it has impacted you. It is a moment of impact. And even though it was years ago, you remember every single detail. Moments of impact.
When the world seems like it's against you, and the mountains seem too high to climb, and the valley seems too wide to cross, when nothing seems to go right, when what could go wrong will go wrong, and when there's those times of hopelessness, those times when you look in the mirror and you feel like you're a failure, there's times when you feel like you just want to give up. I can promise you this, and I don't always know how, and I can't give you the specifics, but I promise you this: somehow, some way, it's going to be okay. And somehow, in some way, somebody's going to come along, and somehow, some way, things will work out. So hold on, don't give up, don't throw in the towel, don't quit, stop thinking you're a failure, stop looking in the mirror and seeing and thinking that you're not enough. You are enough.